Hey guys, I'm Common Rider Silver, and today we're going to be doing a review on the Rise of the Planet of the Apes Caesar action figure from HIYA Toys. So I didn't know this before, but NECA didn't always have the Planet of the Apes license. Before that, HIYA Toys had the Rise of the Planet of the Apes license. They made a very small line of figures. It was only Caesar and Koba, two of which I both have, and I will review Koba next. But I saw this figure online, and I'm like, he doesn't quite look like Caesar, but he'd be a great ape for my collection. So, let's take a closer look. So Caesar here, like I said, isn't the best likeness to how Caesar looked in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, but he's a great ape figure. He's got very awesome sculpting for the fur. You can just see the intricate details within each little sculpt of the fur. All around, it just looks amazing, and the ape face is just absolutely nailed. He looks a lot like Blue Eyes to me, so that's what I use him for in my collection, is a Blue Eyes figure. Pre-bear scratches, but amazing looking figure. Totally nailed how an ape looks with the really long arms. If he didn't have the cuts in the joints, he'd look like one of those really fancy German Schley or Schleich figures. He'd look like a really nice chimp figure. I just love it. The paint on the hands is quite nice. It does chip in places, but it's very nice. It's not just a black plastic. There's some browns mixed in there. The eyes look pretty nice. You can see the green eyes in there. Very nice. Unlike the NECA figure that has brown eyes for some reason. And he does have his little scar, which is nice. But you can see that it's a very nicely detailed figure. Very cool. I like it a lot. Now, as far as accessories, Caesar is loaded, packed to the top with accessories. He comes with these knuckle crawling hands that are very squared off and very knuckly. I don't know what else to say. These more relaxed hands. See right there? Where they're kind of gripped, but not clenched, you know what I mean? Then he has his spear holding and accessory holding hands, which all look good. And like I said, paint does chip from them a little bit, so that's to be expected, but they chip at the joint itself, not around here very much. So that's very nice. And then he also comes with an interchangeable head. Oh my gosh, paint all over my hands. Interchangeable head, which I really like. Screaming analog. That's very cool. The pick he used to get out of his jail cell in Rise, where, you know, he was like, and then gave cookies to Rocket. And then he comes with that spear that was like the zoo gate. The zoo gate was like made of these spears, and they pulled them off with their super strength. I was like, how did they do that? Those were welded on there. And then one of my favorite is this little canister of ALZ 113. It even says, it's great detail on here. It even says Genesis on it. My gosh. And then right there is supposed to be writing, but it's not. You can't really make it out. Genesis. That's a great accessory, and it's got a lot of really good detail. But as far as the head going on the figure, it pops on very easily. So here's our Caesar figure. We'll just pop off that head. You just pull it up, and it goes right on. And then you just pop that on, and there is your Caesar screaming face. And then his hands just pop right into the Caesar's body like a Marvel Legends or any other higher class figure. Boom. A little bit of paint down there. And his accessories do fit in his hands quite nicely, except for this one. This one is, his hands are made of quite a hard plastic, so you really can't work this in. But it's still cool to have, but this accessory of the pick fits into his hands very nicely. And then his spear also fits into his hands very nicely. It's very tight. It's a very tight fit, but I'm glad it is, so it's not falling out. So basically you thread it in, at least on his left hand, it's like, or his right hand, it's like this for me. So you thread it in, and you basically just push into that crevice of his hand, and it's in there pretty nicely. Let's stand him up. Let's see. I think that looks pretty boss. That's pretty cool. Now going over articulation on this ape, I actually quite like it better than the NECA figure. The articulation for the most part is pretty much the same, but I feel like this Caesar from HIYA has a very great range of movement, where the NECA one was more restricted by his fur and the sculpt. So his head looks down about that much. Looks up about that much. That's okay. It's on a ball joint, so it goes all around and stuff. And then he has hinges at the shoulders that go up that far. That's crazy. Down that far, forward, back. Swivel at the bicep, which the NECA figure didn't have. Single jointed elbow, but goes at a full 90 degrees. And then swivel at the hand, and then it also hinges a little bit. Then he has a diaphragm joint that goes down that much, up that much, pretty good. Swivels. Then he has these kind of wide joints at the thigh, so you know you kind of have to work it around so it goes forward, back, and then you can kind of crunch it like that. Single joint at the knee, but once again, a great 90 degrees. And then swivel at the foot, and a hinge that goes forward and back. So he's got some pretty great articulation. You can get him into some pretty nice poses like that. That's pretty cool right there. Let's see. The only thing that really stands out is his hinge right there. Now as far as a kind of a knuckle walking pose, you're going to want to get his knuckle walking hands and just pop these out. I could probably speed this up, but I'm not going to. Pop those in. And he gets in a pretty okay knuckle walking. So what you're going to want to do is move his hips out like that. Bend at the knee. Move his feet around. And then really put his arms forward like this. It looks kind of ridiculous, but it's okay. You know, it's not that bad. It's much better than the NECA one. So, I think that looks pretty cool. Now scaling Caesar up, he stands at about 6 inches. So he fits perfectly with all your other 6-inch figures like Marvel Legends and your other NECA Planet of the Apes figures. My only, not complaint, but kind of thing to point out is that his skin color is quite yellowish, kind of very pale. So when put with the NECA figures, since these have the war paint and the faces are super detailed, it looks a little bit, you can tell the difference, but it's not too bad. I still think it looks great. So there you go, guys. There was a look at the Rise of the Planet of the Apes Caesar action figure from HIYA Toys. Great figure. Great ape figure, good army builder. I've seen a lot of customized versions of him, made into Blue Eyes, made into Cornelia, just made into an ape army ape. I don't know how to say that any better. But this is a great figure. Only about 25 bucks on eBay. That's the only place I've seen him. And great value. You get all kinds of accessories and interchangeable heads. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!